Meek Mill used to be the Philadelphia street rapper who beat the odds. He had served multiple prison bids and still managed to release hit records that dominated the charts. But then that embarrassing L from Drake came, followed by his label drama with Maybach Music Group. And by 2024, what was once a meteoric rise had turned into a struggle to stay relevant. But just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse for Meek, the Diddy scandal erupted.
Singer Cassie has accused hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs of a decade of physical abuse. The two were romantically involved for years, but in a lawsuit made public,
man, this nigga Meek and Diddy had matching motherfucking outfits, man. It don't get more freakier than that, man. I think only
lawsuits crashed down on the diddler. Allegedly,
only had one girlfriend that me and her, man. You feel me? Like had one motherfucking, not even a matching outfit. Like it was matching shirts type shit. Feel me? On some Valentine's shit before high school. So you got this shit as a grown-ass man, y'all fucking, man.
Everything from trafficking to domestic violence to assault. And in the midst of this legal firestorm, Rodney Jones, Diddy's former producer, who spent over a year in the music mogul's inner circle, would drop perhaps the most explosive lawsuit of all. The 73-page bombshell that turned the world of hip-hop upside down, a damning footnote suggesting that P. Diddy actually had a relationship with the Philadelphia rapper. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought Diddy was finished? The breadcrumbs were laid out, and internet detectives wasted no time connecting them directly.
Ain't gonna lie, I remember Nicki saying something about she broke up with some type of nigga because our favorite rapper was gay, some type shit, you feel me? She was talking about this nigga, man. I remember that shit.
To Meek's doorstep. As these allegations against Diddy's multiplied like a bump on the corner of his lip, the public began scrutinizing the true nature of Meek and Diddy's relationship with fresh eyes. And as social media sleuths dug deeper, it became clear.
Look at this goofy ass gay shit, man. Y'all niggas see this shit? It's a picture of two freaky ass grown men, man. They got a lot of secrets that they holding from us. But we know. We know what's going on.
That the clues have been hiding in plain sight all along.
Hey, what's up, K-Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy.
What?
You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
Looks like he cooling off his ass in the pool.
A closer look into the bizarre and sus relationship between Meek Mill and Diddy to determine if they truly just...
He deserved it because he just put that work in for the bed, man.
Perhaps if something more intimate was happening behind closed doors, sometimes seemingly even in front of the camera.
Meek, you out for this, man.
The singer Cassandra Ventura, known as Cassie, today filing suit against ex-boyfriend Sean Combs.
P. Diddy accused of assault by producer Lil Rod. Put a bitch full mask.
Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in intercourse with rapper 5 that's redacted. He's a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Yo, Meek, we were playing around with that Michael Rubin shit. If you don't get a Twitter rant saying you about to get Lil Rod killed, you about to shoot up his block, blow his mama's house up, this is saying that you and Diddy were fornicating. What the me? Like, I can't even imagine such debauchery and such happening to a gangster rapper like me.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the Puffy party. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing.
Do you think it's a lot of undercover brothers in the industry?
Oh no, Queen. We don't know nothing about undercovers. Oh no.
Soulja Boy know everything.
Because I do.
You heard Nicki, folks. I told y'all, man. Diddy and his favorite son.
Sean Diddy, the Diddler
MeekMill's, let's
has
do it.
long positioned himself as hip-hop's ultimate gatekeeper, the kingpin who could make or break careers with a single cosign. So for young artists, getting Diddy's attention was a golden ticket to exclusive circles, tight circles, industry connections, and the kind of mentorship that no streaming revenue could buy. And for a street rapper like Meek Mill, fresh out of prison on weapons and drug charges, Diddy may have represented a bridge between the block and the boardroom. He was looking for someone to come on board and have his back, but not in the prison sense. The timing of their connection couldn't have been more perfect for Meek. For one, he was still relatively unknown outside
Meek with
of
the motherfucking
Philadelphia's
braids. That's when he
underground
was
scene.
hungry,
He spent
y'all.
years grinding through mixtapes and dealing
That's
with legal
before he did
troubles
all that
could
weird
end
gay
his
shit.
career before it truly began. His 2008 arrest on drug and gun charges had resulted in a probation sentence
beat the
that would
shit
hold
out of
him
him.
for nearly a decade, making industry connections even more crucial for legitimizing his transition from the streets to mainstream success. The two most likely crossed paths after Meek inked his deal with Rick Ross's Maybach music group in 2011. Since Diddy and Rose had been running in the same circles, this connection put Meek within the splash distance of hip-hop's billion-dollar boss. What made this relationship particularly significant was the cultural cachet that it represented.
Wingstop, I want extra
successful
sauce on my
businessman, he was a symbol of black excellence in an industry that had historically exploited its artists. So for Meek, who had watched young men in the hood like himself fall victim to the streets, he narrowly escaped that fate himself. Aligning with Diddy represented the ultimate validation that he had truly made it out of the trenches. And as Meek's stock rose with Maybach Music Group, Diddy's interest
I'm looking
in
at
the
these
rising
pictures,
star
he do look a little
an
suspect,
interest that got thicker and hardened as time went on. Likewise, Meek, still with the streets in his blood, but the boardroom in his sights, likely began looking at Diddy with puppy eyes like the OG who could teach him how to turn street fame into generational wealth. And they would soon start popping up together at industry events like the Live Beach Party in 2013 and the Time Warner Cable Studio After Party in February 2014. These early public appearances established a pattern that would define their relationship for years to come. Unlike typical industry networking, where artists might take a quick photo and move on, Meek and Diddy seemed to genuinely enjoy each other's company. Then in 2015, Meek would level up big time, landing one of the biggest female rap and pop stars ever, Nicki Minaj, as both his collaborator and his girlfriend. The same year that power couple started dating, that's Meek and Nicki, he would also release his sophomore album, Dreams Worth More Than Money, which would land him his first #1 album, as well as winning top rap album at the 2016 Billboard Music Awards. During this period, Meek continued to build his relationship with Diddy professionally, maintaining his industry connections while his career was on the rise.
Them three niggas right there is gay. French Montana, he ain't even deny the motherfucking rumors. The nigga in the middle, he don't deny shit. We know what he do. And MeekMill, his ass just denied that shit probably, like 2 months ago, a month ago? And that shit was going on for like a year before he said some shit. You can't deny matching shirts, my boy. You're done.
And while Meek and Nicki were building an image of one of music's favourite power
like
couples, Diddy kept himself in their orbit like a proud husband sitting in the hotel cup chair, co-signing their movements like a proud uncle at graduation. Meek and Diddy also had hit the studio together for the track Cold Hearted off Meek's new chart-topping album, putting their mentor-mentee relationship on wax for the whole world to hear, with Meek shouting out Diddy together with the other big dogs of the rap game, Jay-Z and Baby aka Birdman. But then, in January 2017, Meek and Nicki would officially call it quits, causing one of the first major L's for the Philly rapper in the public eye. However, on the rebound, Meek's connection with Diddy only got stronger and harder, like he traded one powerful relationship for another. Diddy was helping Meek get over his heartbreak, and the two were popping up everywhere together, popping bottles of VIP, hanging out in pools, and popping out at events. To the public eye, they were just two hustlers who had beaten the odds, one from the crack era and one from the trap era, both supporting each other.
Really losing his mind right now when he rapped him.
What the public didn't fully understand at the time was how unusual this level of closeness was in the hip-hop and street cultures. While mentorship relationships are common, the industry typically maintains certain boundaries between established moguls and rising artists. And the fact that Diddy and Meek were spending so much personal time together and appearing at each other's private events so often suggested a bond that transcended typical business relationships. On paper, it was the perfect alliance. However, in April 2019, we would see the first piece of evidence that their bond might have been something that the streets was not ready to hear about. At Coachella that year, Meek and Diddy rolled up looking like they shared a stylist.
Bro, they invited the midget to the party, bro. These two freaky ass niggas, man. They had the midget. How you think they holding them so tight, folks? Like, these niggas is, man, nasty ass niggas.
It's an all. A move that seemed harmless at the time.
Look at his face, man. Look at his face.
Zesty courts of public opinion.
Shit is
the picture
crazy.
of their matching outfits quickly made its way online and started circulating across social media.
These niggas look like a happy couple,
Some jokes, a few side eyes, but nothing career-threatening. Just two rich dudes with the same stylist who couldn't keep their hands off each other, right? But the thing is, this wasn't just a one-off situation. And a month later, in May 2019, footage emerged from what seemed like a casual hangout at one of Diddy's properties. The video showed Meek taking a little dip in Diddy's pool, and the clip itself seemed innocent enough.
Look like he uncomfortable, shorty.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
Diddy's
Call
word
his
choice
ass
for
daddy.
Meek struck many viewers as unusual for a standard mentor-mentee relationship, or for a standard male friendship for that matter. But just like the matching fits in the photo, this footage made the rounds in the blogs, raising some eyebrows and causing relentless
hell
clowning.
no,
But
boy.
it eventually disappeared into that internet graveyard where most celebrity content goes to die. But what no one knew at the time was that these seemingly innocent interactions would later come out in much darker light.
He got Diddy alert.
By the time the 2020s rolled around, Diddy was sitting on his throne, dripping dough and baby oil, playing the kingmaker in the rap
Dripping dough
industry.
and
The
baby
Bad
oil
Boy
is
Mogul's
crazy.
parties were as legendary as ever, and if you got that invite, you truly made it to the top. And there was a lot of top. But while the mainstream media was busy gassing up Diddy's billion-dollar empire, platforms made up of the most dedicated internet sleuths like Lipstick Alley and Reddit were operating as a rumor mill, pumping out gossip that wouldn't see the light of day on Billboard until years later. These digital underground networks had been tracking patterns in celebrity behavior long before mainstream media had caught on. Users would compile photo evidence,
Bro, these
analyze
niggas be
social
looking
media
too happy to
interactions,
be
and
with each
connect the
other.
dots that traditional journalism either missed or chose to ignore. The speculation about Diddy's sexuality had been circulating in these spaces for years, with users pointing to everything from his party guest lists to his business relationships as potential
This man is
evidence.
sick,
Folks on
yo.
these platforms would try to connect the dots and cook up theories
Come on, I'm
about
starting to believe those
Diddy's
MeekMill
suspect
rumors.
relationship. The speculation ranged from subtle hints about their sexuality to theories that Meek and Diddy were genuinely
Oh,
lovers
hell
or
no,
a
Meek.
relationship. But it wasn't just anonymous keyboard
Why you
warriors
taking
running
pictures
up the
like
rumor
that?
mill. In 2022, Nicki Minaj, who had spent 3 years booed up with Meek Mill from 2015 to 2017,
What I tell y'all?
hacking, hopped on Instagram Live with Soulja Boy, suggesting that she knew rappers in the industry were hiding their true sexualities.
Do you think it's a lot of undercover brothers in the industry?
Oh no, Queen. We don't know nothing about undercovers. Oh no. We don't know about that.
Okay.
Okay.
I do.
Now, at the time, nobody knew who she was talking about, but later, people speculated that she might well have been talking about
Bro.
Meek all along. People just
Nicki
figured that
funny
Nicki
as hell,
was doing what
folks.
Nicki does best,
I do.
stirring the pot and keeping her
Why you
name
ain't say the
public. While
name?
chatter was bubbling in the digital streets, though, Meek was doing business as usual with Diddy. The man was still publicly stepping out with Puffy, appearing at his events and letting him play Big Homie in his career, and perhaps letting him play elsewhere. If he was aware of the rumours, he showed no signs of concern. Whether this was
The
him being
fuck?
oblivious to the whispers or simply betting that they would never reach the mainstream is impossible to know. But what is clear is that he made a choice to maintain his close association with
always
Diddy, that
touching
looking back
and
at now
catching
might
stuff.
have been the biggest career L he could have possibly taken. But Meek wouldn't realise just how costly this mistake would be until February 2024, when the Diddler's allegations finally came to light.
Damn, they got your ass in paperwork and getting your booty played with by Diddy, for you over with.
Now, the countdown to catastrophe began in 2020. Security footage hit the internet showing Diddy assaulting his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel hallway back in 2016. Visual confirmation of allegations that she
Hey,
had
that's
made in
tweaking,
the lawsuit
boy.
filed earlier. After Cassie's lawsuit, the floodgates were blown wide as a cheap twink's back doors. To put things into perspective, Cassie's lawsuit didn't just open legal doors, it fundamentally shifted the cultural conversation around Diddy. For decades, he had maintained an image as a successful businessman and cultural icon, with any negative stories getting buried or dismissed as just industry gossip. But the specific detailed nature of Cassie's allegations, combined with the shocking video evidence, created a perfect storm that made previously unthinkable accusations suddenly seem credible. It provided a template for other victims to come forward, creating a cascade effect that would ultimately overwhelm Diddy's ability to control the narrative. By the end of 2023, 3 more lawsuits had crashed down on Diddy's empire, and each packed with allegations that made jaws drop, and not in the good way. As 2024 kicked off, lawsuits against Diddy
This
started
nigga
piling
Trap
up
Lord
like
funny
bodies,
as hell.
either kind of bodies. Multiple accusers would come forward with allegations ranging from assault to trafficking and racketeering. The man who claimed "Can't nobody hold me down" had allegedly been holding several men and women down and was now drowning in legal
Tweaking,
paperwork.
boy.
And this situation would be hard to get a handle on, like a leaky bottle of baby oil. But outside of Cassie's lawsuit, there would be another that garnered a lot
About
of
the
attention from
baby
the
oil.
public. That's when Diddy's former producer, Lil Rod, real name Rodney Jones, who'd spent over a year in the mogul's tight circle producing tracks for his latest album, went fully nuclear, filing a 73-page lawsuit that overshadowed all of the previous allegations. The suit detailed disturbing behavior, including allegations of drugging drinks, coordinating
Drink, lace.
recordings, encounters
The
without
line.
consent, and running what amounted to a
Liquor is
criminal
crazy.
enterprise disguised as a music empire. During these late-night
That shit
recording
go by fast
sessions,
as
Diddy
hell,
and Lil
I should've
Rod
paused.
had allegedly created some absolutely disgusting recordings. And that's just the music they made together.
Yeah.
But while the
Look
main
at-
text discussed
Look at his
activities,
face. He ain't lying. Folks to the right look like a motherfucking gerbil in the face, but I can tell he ain't lying, for like. And Diddy, everybody know about Diddy, for freak man.
Allegedly coordinated by Diddy, it also had a footnote buried on page 13 that would set social media on fire. A footnote described a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj allegedly having sexual relations with Diddy. There was no direct name, no explicit accusation, but it really didn't take much for the internet to connect the dots.
Well,
The description might well have been a flashing neon sign pointing at Meek Mill. Within hours, old trails of Meek and Diddy's bromance would surface online. That daddy comment in the pool, those matching outfits, the constant appearances together. But this time, it wouldn't be seen as two friends being overly close. Now seen through a different and greasy lens. With people joking about Diddy being the dominant in their alleged relationship, even Nicki's 2020 comment about undercover others in the industry resurfaced and went viral again, with fans claiming she'd been trying to warn everyone all along and eagerly waiting to see if Nicki would spill the tea. Now, Nicki's comment carried extra weight because of her unique position on the situation. As Meek's ex-girlfriend, who had been intimately involved in his life during the climax of his relationship with Diddy, she would have insider knowledge about the dynamics that the public never saw. Meek would try to defend himself almost immediately after the allegations surfaced. What followed was a series of tweets seemingly designed to affirm his straightness, posts that ironically came across as desperate rather than convincing. In one tweet, Meek would brag about having twice a day when he had a woman around. He would follow that up claiming he was gangster, and then threaten to trash anyone who played with his manhood.
You gay, fo. You trying to justify too much.
Damage control fell flat. The internet turned into a digital firing squad with Meek.
You trying to justify too much. I fuck a bitch 2 times a day.
Bars about his alleged activities with Diddy.
Dream chasers. I hope they forgive me for what I did with Diddy. Real street forever. The king of Philly.
Bro, what?
Every social platform, with users getting increasingly.
Oh, they forgive you for what you did with Diddy.
Viral meme.
Bro, stop it, please, bro. That can't be real, man.
Diddy Bang Bang, playing off the classic film Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, a much more explicit
They
implication.
just made me drop my wood, shorty.
Diddy as Booty Brothers. Meek's bad boy
Booty
dreams
Brothers.
quickly turned into nightmares, and his comment section became a battle.
Oh, they forgive me for what I did with Diddy.
Controlling him, using Diddy-themed wordplay, and taunting him to keep tweeting if you're gay. But
Oh,
perhaps the most
shit,
savage
boy.
development was when audio of two men aggressively going at it hit the web, with everyone claiming that it was Meek and Diddy making the kind of hits that you won't find on Billboard. But Meek's humiliation wasn't just coming from anonymous internet trolls and meme pages. Soon enough, actual celebrities started piling on, common behaviour for a Diddy party, turning what was already a public relations nightmare into an industry-wide roasting session. Again, common practice at Diddy's parties. The first big name to take shots was Andrew Tate, of all people. The straight alleged would waste no time jumping into the fray as soon as the allegations surfaced. Tate quote-tweeted his own months-old post about
gay and
famous
weird,
people
bro.
because they're all gay and weird.
It definitely is,
From
boy.
the once self-professed most
Definitely
famous
the
man in
industry
the world,
shit.
but okay. When Meek tried to clap back at Tate, bringing up the influencer's own legal troubles with trafficking allegations, Tate doubled down, making it clear he was just asking questions about what everyone else was already talking about. A bit rich coming from a man who spends most of his time shirtless with his attractive brother, but okay. By May, Meek had enough. He would make what he thought was a smart move, unfollowing Diddy on Instagram, but it backfired completely. This apparent attempt to distance himself was actually seen as an admission of guilt, triggering another wave of mockery, and with that, the celebrity pylon only intensified. Again, like a Diddy party after the Tusi arrives. Soulja Boy, who had a completely unrelated beef with Meek over some producer drama, went straight for the jugular with a tweet that had the internet in shambles. The timing was perfect, or perfectly terrible for Meek. Here he was trying to distance himself from Diddy, and
fuck you with
Soulja
a
Boy was reminding everyone exactly why. A few days later, he would also go on Instagram Live to apologise for some other drama with Metro Boomin, but somehow managed to circle back to Meek.
And MeekMill, mind your business. Ain't Diddy playing in your booty hole? Huh? Ain't Diddy you and your why you on my tweet around the Maybach truck?
But while Meek was busy
So
defending
he
himself
tweeted,
from Twitter
bro.
trolls, he also had to deal with getting clowned by his longtime arch nemesis.
I forgot academics and Meek don't like each other, boy.
See, if there's one person in the public eye who's been on Meek's helmet, apart from Diddy, it's DJ Academics. The media personality and streamer had been beefing with Meek for years, with their feud dating all the way back to 2017 over Academics supposedly not promoting Meek's album properly. By 2020, Meek was publicly trying to cancel Academics, even threatening to put a hit on him. When somebody who gets hit by men is threatening to send hitmen, you know you're in trouble. This was a threat serious enough that Academics reportedly contacted the police in response.
Just remember that MeekMill is nothing but a hypocrite. And again, yo, I don't know if you have issues with 6ix9ine, you clearly do, you don't want to address him. You got issues with Nicki's man, you don't want to address him. You got issues with Nicki, you don't want to address that. Cool, I get it. Ack is supposed to be the dude who, like, yo, you could just get everything off on. Cool, I'm just trying to tell you that, bro, like, I'm just not into being bullied. So if you got, like, some tough that you have to do, keep it that way. Just stop snitching on yourself. Stop telling the world you're greenlighting people and just do what you have to do. Because right now, like, when you say green lighting, I send that to the police. I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, Yo, are you greenlit?
He not a street nigga,
Diddy
bro.
Meek allegations hit in
So what the fuck you
2024,
expect?
Big
Meek,
Academics saw an opportunity
Meek
that he
freak?
could not pass up. Within hours of Lil Rod's lawsuit hitting the internet, he was
hell
live on
no.
Twitch, going through the entire 73-page indictment page by page. And when he reached the footnote describing a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, Academics immediately stopped scrolling and connected the dots to Meek, with his audience gobbling it up, like a complimentary buffet tray during a Freak-Off's halftime.
Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in intercourse with a rapper. 5, that's redacted. Look, 5, he's a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj.
He pointed at the Super Bowl had
Yo, Meek, we were
successful
playing
Vegas
around with that
fantasy.
Michael Rubin.
His writer's
You
possession of the
you've
video.
been tweeting about
The video.
You've been tweeting about everything on planet Earth. If
video?
you don't get a Twitter rant saying you about to get Lil Rod killed, you about to shoot up his block, blow his mama's house up, this saying that you and Diddy were fornicating.
Wow.
What the
On fucking papers, nigga.
At went full
75.
prosecutor mode. He would
Pages.
roast Meek for tweeting about everything under the sun, except these allegations about him and Diddy getting freaky.
Yo, Meek, now ain't the time to be talking about switches on the street. They want to know if you're a switch hitter. That's what we want to know.
Switch hitter.
We ain't talking about switches on guns. Are you a switch hitter? That's all we want to know.
But he wasn't satisfied with just discussing the lawsuit. He would go on to dig up tweets with every interaction between Meek and Diddy that suddenly looked suspicious as hell.
Look up the pool video. Oh, him belly flopping?
No.
MeekMill pool. Oh, the fries on the lap? Nah, that was
No,
epic.
look it up.
That was epic. The fries on the lap was
I
crazy.
never seen that. What the fuck?
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work.
Meek and Diddy in matching fits. What are you talking about?
Damn. He putting it all together, literally.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. It's just kind of like a daddy pose.
You're cooked.
Daddy. You feel me?
The stream racked up millions of views on Twitch and over 400k on YouTube, with clips spreading across social media faster than a freak-off rash, and what started as a footnote was now a full-blown hip-hop conspiracy theory with Academics as the lead investigator. And now, this is where things get really intense. Meek would warn Academics to stop mentioning his name, making vague threats about what would happen when they crossed paths in person, posts that only made him appear more unhinged. But Academics would flip Meek's aggression back on him quicker than Diddy flipping over Meek at a freak-off, suggesting that Meek was only angry before the speculation about his sexuality hit too close to home. What followed was an intense battle between the two on social media. Academics called Meek washed up, and the two would continue to throw insults at each other. By March, Academics was claiming that cops showed up at his door, allegedly calling out Meek himself, who ironically built his brand on anti-snitching anthems. Later that month, Meek had apparently had enough and would block Academics on X. On the flip side, Academics would declare victory instantly, boasting that he'd out-tweeted the infamous Twitter fingers himself. The internet would diss Meek for taking an L from a media personality and streamer, and the streets really weren't feeling this look. But while Meek would stop Academics' trolling with the block button, what he could block out were the millions of people who would go on to taunt him about being Diddy's booty call over the next months.
Booty man. Diddy the booty man.
Now, between February and September 2024, Meek caught occasional breaks from the relentless mockery, but each new development in Diddy's legal saga brought fresh waves of clowning. When federal agents raided Diddy's mansions in March, uncovering an enormous cache of baby oil, slippery Meek would be the butt of the
freaky
memes.
man.
And when an alleged Diddy freak-off
1,000
participant
baby
list
oil
hit
bottles
the
is
internet,
crazy.
Meek was specifically named as a VIP. And when feds snatched up Diddy on trafficking, racketeering, and
VIP.
transportation to engage in charges in September, anybody who had ever breathed Diddy's musty air was under renewed scrutiny, especially Meek, who found himself right back in the digital crosshairs.
Wow.
All the evidence pointing to his alleged relationship with Diddy would make the rounds again, with people clowning him for allegedly getting his cheeks clapped by the diddler. This time, Meek would hit back with the oldest play in the self-defense handbook, blame it all on a conspiracy. He posted his notifications feed like it was evidence at a trial, claiming that bots were running a coordinated hit job on powerful figures like himself. And now whoever they is supposed to be, Meek left that to our imagination. By September the 24th, Meek would go full Alex Jones, offering $100,000 in cash money to anyone who could prove how his name got tangled up in Diddy's
What you
legal
mean,
nightmare.
nigga? All
His
them damn
desperate move
pictures
only
and
made him look
videos, nigga.
worse
What are you
and gave
talking about?
celebrities fresh ammunition to mock him. For
Give
one,
me that
he
100K,
said
nigga.
he
I
could go
motherfucking
his neck
prove
for months
yourself.
over the allegations,
Fuck
immediately
you talking
capitalized
about?
on the situation. 50 would post an AI-generated video showing Meek and Diddy in wigs, essentially laughing at Meek for trying to pay his way out of a situation that his own public behaviour created. Even lesser-known personalities started getting their shots in too. Actor Julio McCullum
Feel
jumped
me?
on the bandwagon, responding to Meek's $100,000 tweet with the viral picture of him and Diddy twinning. At this point, the pattern was clear. The more Meek tried to deny, the more evidence of his seemingly bizarre relationship with Diddy kept surfacing. On November 19th, footage from Meek's 27th birthday party in 2014, posted by none other than the diddler himself, hit the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail revealed that Diddy had rented the Parisian Paris for $25,000 $100,000 to throw an extravagant party for Meek, with masked dancers, lingerie-clad women, and men eating sushi off naked models. The property manager described the Double Fish Buffet celebration as disgusting, claiming that there was cocaine like powdered sugar everywhere, along with used blood on the bedding and lubricant on the dressers and marble floors. Now, for the record, marble floors are very porous. You don't want to be pouring baby oil on those. These weren't exactly the kind of party details you'd want attached to your name when you're trying to shake off rumours of your relationship with Diddy. Like all the other allegations, Meek would deny these too. But at this point, he knew the damage to his reputation was beyond repair, so his only move left was to completely denounce any ties with Diddy. And that's exactly what he did. In a video that quickly went viral, Meek would shut down any connection that linked him with Diddy.
Yo, Shaw, what's up? Yo, Shaw. Real life. You know, Diddy gang, MeekMill in real life. Respect me, you hear?
No Diddy gang. What?
Seemingly ignoring the fact that just a few years earlier, he was calling Diddy his mentor, featuring him in videos and jumping in his swimming pool while Diddy called him daddy. For a rapper who'd built his brand on keeping it real, most people saw these seemingly desperate attempts to rewrite history as authentic as a $3 bill. Even Whack 100 and Loose Cannon couldn't help mocking how Meek wanted to suddenly backtrack after all the evidence had surfaced.
MeekMill clowning now. MeekMill holler no Diddy gang now.
Just
but he can't really say that when
at all.
The landlord came out and said that after you left MeekMill's, it was blood and dookie all over the sheets. After Diddy ran through you.
Blood and dookie all over the sheets.
Mm-hmm. Damn, Meek, dookie.
After years of studio sessions, VIP
Damn, Meek, Dookie, and blood,
Meek
shorty.
suddenly wanted the world to believe that they were barely
You
acquaintances.
shitty bitch.
But was he really just another industry acquaintance in Diddy's extensive network, or was he something more? The truth is, we might never know for certain what really went down between Meek and Diddy, but hip-hop has always been a genre built on perception, and in that unforgiving court, the streets have already rendered their verdict. Meek's carefully crafted street image has been permanently tarnished by his association with Diddy, a stain that no amount of glossing, damage control, or conspiracy theories has managed to wash away. That Diddy's Boy label follows him to this day when he least expects it, and the internet's permanent memory and hip-hop's love for legendary scandals and its deep-rooted homophobia means that this shadow will likely hang over Meek's head for years to come, which just goes to show you that you can beat cases, survive beefs, and overcome industry obstacles, but you can't outrun your bad choices in who you associate with and what parties you go to. And even if it's all untrue, the unfortunate fact is, MeekMill will never be able to erase the damage done to him by associating with the diddler.
Man, what y'all think, man? Drop it down below, man. Even though we already know what the fuck going on. We know this nigga Diddy is one of them. We know Meek one of them. Shit, man. Y'all niggas gotta stay away from the industry shit. And definitely keep your motherfucking manhood, boy. Don't never switch up, boy. What the fuck, nigga? You let Diddy play with your ass, man. I'm off this shit, man. Y'all niggas stay prayed up, man. Don't be lacking, man, to get to some motherfucking money, man. And don't forget, don't be on no industry shit, man. Diddy gonna get your ass, boy.